Upon graduation, Zayvon spent several years as a teacher at a Boston middle school where he developed their first ever civics curriculum and authored curricular discourse that drew acclaim nationwide by organizations like RAND. In 2021, Zayvon was unanimously appointed as Executive Director of the Massachusetts Black and Latino Legislative Caucus at just 24 years old. He was the youngest ever to achieve this feat. During his 4-year tenure, he led a 26-member legislative body, advanced key policy initiatives, and organized major statewide events uplifting Black and Latino communities. Most recently, Zayvon graduated from Boston College Law School, where he was a full-tuition public service scholar. He was honored with the Sheila McGovern Commencement Award, which recognizes achievement of personal goals under extraordinary circumstances. He attended law school full-time, worked full-time, and ran his own speaking and consulting business simultaneously. He jokes that it wasn't always pretty, but he got it done. While Zayvon's roles over the years have been numerous, he would describe himself as a community organizer, wellness strategist, lifelong learner, and friend. Please join me in welcoming Zayvon Billups to say a few words to our graduates.
Thank you so much, Dr. Foss, for that kind introduction. Much gratitude to the staff and faculty here at Bullard Havens for inviting me to speak today. Some of the folks I went to college with call me Mr. Bullard Havens because I always proudly proclaim my Tiger pride. I have much gratitude for the educators in the room, some of which I was lucky enough to have. Mr. Santos, Ms. Stefania, Ms. Semino, Ms. Ganino, Mr. Shepard, just to name a few. Being an educator, especially in 2025, requires so much more than preparing a lesson plan. I hope you know I honor your impartations, and I tell people about y'all everywhere I go. Can we get a round of applause for our educators, please? Appreciate that. And to the parents and families in the room, can I get a woo? It really does take a village, doesn't it? And before we get started, can I get a huge round of applause for class of 2025? All right, class of 2025, good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, awesome. I'll have you guys know I do like to do a lot of call and response. You're catching on already. At certain points throughout today's conversation, I may ask you if you are with me, and I just simply want you to respond with you. Can we try that? Are you with me? Perfect. At other points in today's conversation, I may ask you to repeat a word or a phrase. For example, I may say, if you're with me, say celebrate. If you're with me, say celebrate. All right, I appreciate you all being with me. Class of 2025, I have some remarks prepared for you all today. And I promised Ms. Ganino I'd keep it under 10, and I think I used already 3. In any case, I hope today will be the start of a conversation, the beginning of a dialogue, an external utterance that matches at least some of what your internal monologue is likely saying at this moment. What the heck is going on in the world? What am I going to do now? And am I prepared for life after graduation? Now, I know I'm getting old, but does that sound about right? Does that sound about right? Well, all right then. Let's jump into some of what I prepared, and perhaps what I offer about my own journey and experiences may be able to help you with yours. Y'all, my name is Zayvon Billups. I was born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'm 29 years old, and this past May, I graduated from law school on a full scholarship. At 27, I started my own business. At barely 25, I became one of the highest ranked black officials in the state of Massachusetts. At 22, I graduated college and moved to Massachusetts on my own to teach. And at 18, I sat exactly where you're sitting here today, almost 11 years ago to the exact day. In fact, I'm a third-generation Buller Haven student. My grandmother went here, my pops, my brothers, and a whole lot of cousins. If y'all still with me, say cousins. I have lived all over Bridgeport, the Greens, Brook Street over on the east side, Stone Ridge on the roof, Stone Ridge on the north, Success Village down the street from the school, and Elizabeth Street on the east end. I was little boo-boo to most of my fam because I took after my father, Noop to my mother because she liked making up random names for her kids, and Bill to my classmates because of my last name and my low cut. Y'all know that low haircut, that one all around? My folks used to factory reset my hair. My mom would take a big old gloop of Vaseline and plop it right on my head. I swear I had the shiniest head in the project. I know I'm cracking jokes here, but I do have a job to do, and that's to celebrate class of 2025 and make sure you understand that the only difference between you and I, the only distance between you and your dreams is simply how much you believe in them. You see, each and every one of you are an artist, a creator of your lives. You are a main character, carefully curating a story that you have the power and responsibility to author. What I am decreeing and declaring to you today is that there is no story more powerful than the one that you tell yourself. How you talk to you, think about you, and what you envision for you will determine what your life looks like, and that is the only thing that will determine what your life looks like. Class of 2025, your imagination is the great equalizer. I know this because I graduated from law school, but I'm also dyslexic, and I didn't learn how to read until the 4th grade. I know this because I graduated from Fairfield University with their highest achievement award, but my sophomore year, I almost got kicked out because of my struggles with mental health. I know this because at 24, I became leader of a legislative caucus that went on to pass laws that created pipelines for more teachers of color to get into the classroom, improve access to maternal health care for Black and Latino women, and champion police reform initiatives that focused on serving our community, not locking them up. I ran meetings with the governor. I decided legislative priorities. And y'all, I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut, so best believe I was in the Massachusetts State House G-checking folks double my age, right? I'm really like that, I am. If y'all still with me, say I am. Come on, y'all, say I am. That said, my big cousin, AB, was one of the most prolific gang members in the city before he lost his life at the young age of 24. And my dad, a retired regional president for a one percenter unicycle club. And if you don't know what that means, you can look it up after. Now I'm gonna keep what the rest of my family been up to myself because I ain't trying to put everybody's business out there. But what I am trying to highlight is that I could look at my situation, the problems, the roadblocks, the circumstances I didn't ask for, and get lost in them, or I could wield them, create with them. I can take that which was given to me, be fruitful, and multiply. Instead of thinking about my life history and believing I'm destined for violence or struggle, I can reframe it. If you're still with me, ask me how. Ask me how. I'll show you how. I could tell myself I come from a gang-oriented family. Or I can tell you that I come from a family of leaders, that my name, Zavon, means leader, and I got the option to run a gang or a caucus, a block or a kingdom, perhaps President of the United States, or maybe mayor of the city I grew up in. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? My favorite quote, which I discovered as a sophomore in high school: in a dream, you saw a way to survive and you were full of joy. If you can imagine a world beyond your circumstances, you can elevate beyond them. If y'all still with me, say imagine. I am a creator. I am a creator. I am responsible. Nod your head if that was received. All right, a couple bobbleheads in the audience, appreciate you. I have one more insight I want to offer before they drag me off stage, and that is the importance of honor. To honor is to hold something or someone in high regard, respect, or great esteem. It's to treat something as sacred or a privilege to be received. If nothing else, when you leave here today, I want you to be honorable. Because to be honorable is to position yourself not only to receive the gift, but to also receive the full benefit of the gift. You heard me honor the educators in the room because of the impact they had on me. But in my life, I didn't just honor them with my words, I honored them with my actions. When I graduated from Fairfield University, I had to decide what I was going to do next. And I had a lot of options, but I was called to teach. So I upped and moved to Massachusetts and spent 3 years teaching the civics curriculum and doing so with the utmost care. This decision, rooted in honor, put me on the path to becoming unanimously appointed as the youngest ever executive director of a legislative body in the state I had only been in for 3 years. The lesson here is honor is the way up. My respect, my care for what I had, my regard for the folks sitting here, and there. Literally, if y'all still with me, say literally. Literally positioned me in my life in a way that led to my promotion. Now, it didn't give me my promotion, I earned that. But I was at the right place at the right time. Honor is the way up. And as such, before we close, I'm going to ask you to practice honor similar to how you saw me do it earlier, but with your loved ones. Class of 2025, as you maturate, continue to author your steps, know that each and every move you make reverberates. Each step has meaning both for you and beyond you. You are ushering DNA, shuttling a family legacy, and moving your ancestral story from one realm to the next, from glory to glory. Remember to honor everyone who has come before you for what they sacrificed, but also for what they could not. For it is in this recognition of our ancestry, a remembrance of that came before, that we find clues, right? We find insights and information that allows us to produce enough fruit on the family tree for everybody to eat. You will have battles if you want billions, and you need community if you're going to conquer. So remember, brothers are born for adversity, sisters are here to remind you to take care, a mother's love is free, and our father's guidance is timeless. Graduates, I'm going to ask you to honor your families and supporters here today. If you could stand, graduates. And if you could just turn and face the audience, right, and give them a hand. All right, graduates, you may be seated. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Class of 2025, you accomplished something incredible today. Despite COVID, despite the state of the world, and despite the silent obstacles you battled, what you accomplished today is major. Please know that sharing what I have with you today has been the greatest honor, the most full circle moment of my entire life. And I hope, I pray, and I profess that this is just the beginning for you, just the beginning for us. Whether you're going into your trade, looking to further your education, or still considering what's next, know that you don't have to be changed by the craziness of what's happening around you or what's happened to you. You are an author, you are a creator, and so whatever dream you're brave enough to imagine, you have permission to make come true. Thank you.